This is an idea by the Holy Mother herself put across to Vivekananda. And let us see what that matchless master Sri Ramakrishna thought of her and how she, when it came to that, put Sri Ramakrishna in his proper place. Now, this is what happens if you take the two biographies, authentic biographies, and read it carefully, repeatedly, trying to find out the inner meaning of the happenings, not being carried away by the dramatics of the situation. Make use of your common sense. Make use of your brains. Make use of all that you can gather within yourself to understand the intricacies and subtleties of this divine dispensation, this divine play, this Bhagavati Leela. Now what happens? You know this incident, I take it for granted, you know. A girl of not a very age, in her teens or late teens and 20s, somehow or other, the society stabbed her, branded her, and discarded her as a person of not so high a character. She had nowhere to go. Somebody told her, you go to Ramakrishna, the saint in the future, you will have some support. So she came and fell at Sri Ramakrishna's feet and admitted all that she had done. Sri Ramakrishna, don't worry, my dear child, your mother is still living in that Navathana. You go and report yourself to her. Tell her I have sent you to her. And the mother gave her shelter and herself. And she became almost like a shadow to the Holy Mother, helping her in every act and deed and effort to make her life comfortable out of sheer gratitude that she has been forgiven and she has been pardoned and accepted as team of the Mother. Now, as you know, a prolonged familiarity gives you some desire to take liberties. What happened one day, the Holy Mother used to occasionally carry Sri Ramakrishna's dinner from her room to Sri Ramakrishna's room, which was a distance of about 20 feet. Now what happens? She could only go on such days when no devotees were staying with Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna was alone. But day came when she found that Sri Ramakrishna was alone. So he prepared the plate, beautifully arranged, and you know, Indians are very, very fussy about it. Bengali especially. Everything must be in the proper place, otherwise it's not worth eating. So she arranged it everything properly. And while she walked out of her room to lead to the masters, that girl came prancing around, jumping around, dancing around. Ma, please, Ma, I would like to take it for Guru Maharaj today. Ma, give it to me. Ma immediately handed it over. She was on cloud nine. She carried, she kept it there, and she came away quiet. And a minute later, Mother walked in. Sri Ramakrishna was immersed in his own thought, half lying in his bed. Ma says, get up dear, get up. Your dinner is getting cold. Get ready. Come, come. It's getting cold. So Sri Ramakrishna woke up. All arrangements were made. When Sri Ramakrishna wanted to eat, as soon as his fingers reached the food, like a repulsive shock, he said, couldn't touch it. He tried once, he tries twice, he tries thrice, and there was such a thing happening that the whole food was emanating a repulsion. So he kept quiet, a little bit concerned, asked the mother. Mother was sitting there and quietly seeing, didn't say anything. Asked the mother, how come I'm unable to touch my food? Did anybody touch my food? Maharaj, yes, so and so. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna expressed her please and all. Don't you know, dear, that I cannot touch things touched by people who are not pure at heart? That is why you and Lakshmi, you too bring my food. Lakshmi was Guru Maharaj's niece. Why did you allow her to eat? I'm not going to eat. It has been contaminated. In our Bhakti Shastra, this is a fact of life, dear. If you have, by thinking of purity and the divine, in great depth for a period of time, you become so pure that you are so sensitive, any dirt or impurity you cannot stand. What to speak of Sri Ramakrishna, the purity personified? So that girl, however changed she may be, but she had touched that food, and that food was contaminated. According to Bhakti Shastra, it is known as Sparsha Dosha, contamination by touch. That has what has happened to the food. And what happens? Sri Ramakrishna is able to touch. What to speak of eating? He is unable to touch. Mother admits that so and so has touched. Sri Ramakrishna immediately, like an obstinate child, I am not going to eat. Ma keeps on pleading, dear, please eat. Then Sri Ramakrishna wants to again, come, give me your word of honor. You will never allow anybody to touch my food. If you give me this word of honor, I will. Now look at the mother. She quietly says, look dear, whosoever he or she may be, anyone under the sun, if he genuinely addresses me as a mother, I will have no heart to say no to his or her request. Now behave yourself and eat. And Guru Maharaj had to eat. Now dear, let the dramatists go. What could have happened? Sri Ramakrishna's human form was in the purest of the pure level. The food was contaminated by touch. How could Sri Ramakrishna eat that? The only way that he could eat that food was the Holy Mother, Mahamayi Swarupini, Parameshwari. She, by her look, burned the impurity out of the food. Then only Sri Ramakrishna's nervous system could touch it. Now dear, this is an incident. Forget about the dramatics of it. Forget about the dramatics of it. Please kindly try and understand, who could she be who has this capacity by a look only purify and impure food to make it worthy of her matchless master, Sri Ramakrishna. Who could she be? Now, let us stop for a while. Now let us go back to the dawn of civilization according to India's concept. The Vedas are the storehouse of India's spiritual wisdom. The Vedas started with people, ordinary people, living in nature, living with nature, interacting with nature. They started their life as observers of natural phenomena. If we interpret the Vedic literature, that is the starting point. From that observer of natural phenomena, they became appreciators. They became aware that because of this they are living. They became admirers. They started adoring, worshipping the force of nature called as Devatas, Varun Devata, water god, sun god, moon god, air god, and so on. So, cloud god, rain god. And slowly, they found that the world is getting crowded with gods. But they found when there is a motley crowd, there is lack of discipline. Whereas in this cosmos, it seems everything is happening in a clockwork precision and regularity, as if a supreme designer, a supreme planner has planned and designed, and he sits at the position to execute it according to plan and design. So, out of these gods, there must be a supreme God, whose word is a law for all these gods. So slowly and slowly, Bahu Ishvara, Bahu gods, slowly and slowly confined into one supreme being, Parama Ishvara, supreme God. When they were conceiving and considering the existence of a supreme being, Parameshwara, they started asking themselves, how can I say it is the fatherhood of the divine? Uttava Kumara, Uttava Kumari. This is a quote from the Vedic literature. They were at such a juncture. The juncture was, we are convinced there is a supreme intelligence, a supreme power, a supreme energy, at whose behest this whole cosmos is running in pure order. Now, how do I conceive the supreme being? As a father figure or a mother figure? Uttava Kumara, Uttava Kumari, a masculine or a feminine? How do I consider? And you know what their considered opinion was? You can consider her as Parameshwari, the mother of the universe, the caretaker of the whole world. Or you can consider him as a Parameshwara, that ruler who sits on his throne on judgment to reward you or to punish you. That's the concept of God, reward and punish. And what's the concept of motherhood of God? Softness, sweetness, graciousness, ever forgiving, ever forbearing. That's the concept of motherhood of God. See what we do with nature. She's forbearing and forgiving. At that time of Vedic civilization, the concept of motherhood of God was established in human psyche. Good enough. Thereafter, we find various concepts of motherhood of God during the Puranic period and etc. has crowded the scene. And through proper spiritual discipline, there were sadhakas, aspirants, who were blessed by the vision of the mother of the universe, in whichever form the sadhaka or the sadhika wanted to experience her. This is what has happened. But dear, in human society, up till now, what do we see? We find the fatherhood of God has such a tremendous hold on human thinking that when God appears in the form of incarnation, sometimes to meet the needs of that time society, it is not required to bring his divine consort along. Christ came alone, Shankara came alone. There are so many who were not accompanied by their consort. There were some cases where consorts were accompanying them, and the consorts played such a martyr's role to enhance the standing of their matchless husbands, Rama, Krishna, Buddha. Nowhere do we find the concept of Parameshwari in human flesh and blood as a consort to the incarnation of the divine, playing the role of his or her matchless master. They are always in the background, martyring themselves to enhance the standing of their matchless master. This is the whole history of human civilization. I am not saying anything out of it. Occasionally, one or two came to the top and they were burnt in the stake. Joan of Arc was burnt in the stake. Christ was crucified brutally. This is what the world has done to the children of God. And I remember there's a saying, I don't know the Latin word or the French words, but it was translated by George Bernard Shaw. When St. John was being burnt on the stake as a witch, she looked towards the sky and addressed her Father in heaven. "O Father, when would thy people be fit to recognize thy messengers?" This is the history of the world. So what I'm trying to drive home is, the world has never seen up till now what that concept of Parameshwari, Mahamai, Adya Shakti would mean to be in concrete flesh and blood. The world has never seen an example of that yet. It was left to Sri Ramakrishna to bring his divine consort along, and between them they balanced the whole game in such a manner that Sri Ramakrishna started his activities as a minister, as the founder of a movement, but he withdrew and left this person, Sarada Devi, to carry it on for 34 long years, the incomplete activity started by an incarnation of the divine being carried on by the consort for 34 years.